I'm curious, do you have one of those junk drawers in your kitchen, or do you have piles of stuff on your desk that you're gonna get to, or do you have projects around your house or your garage or at your office that are just incomplete, but you're gonna get to them at some point? Do you realize that those junk drawers or our projects that are incomplete and the things around our house that are just piles of mess that we're going to get to someday, do you know that they are actually impeding our success and thriving? They are actually in the way of our success and thriving. How is that possible? I know now you're looking at that pile on your desk, right? Thinking, how is that possible? We're going to dive into this eye opening information today and give you some strategies to clean up your messes and incompletes and move forward in thriving and success. Hey there, I'm Kristen Smedley here with my buddy Charlie Collins, and we are co-founders of Thriving Blind Academy and this Successibility YouTube channel. We know a thing or two about messes and incompletes, and oh my goodness, if we could do some of the behind the scenes on getting this episode together today, you would know that we know about messes and incompletes. But listen, you're going to want to stick around all the way through for our stories and strategies about how this is such an important part of the journey towards success and thriving. But also at the end, we have a template that you can download that we created for you to make this process easier and get moving quicker forward on succeeding and thriving. Charlie, if today has not been a practice in patience and not leaving an incomplete out there, I don't know what is.
Yeah, I agree. Well, we've laughed through it, and so messes, incomplete, maybe tolerations or irritations. It's that when throughout my day do I get triggered? Or shall I say, because of the environment I'm living in, the space I navigate through, what do I have that you said someday? And Someday Island is a wonderful place. Someday I'll get to that. And I have never called a travel agent and said I want to book to Someday Island. They just don't have a plane that goes there, and that always pushing out. It's if I'm going through my day and saying I really need to, I got to get to, that means there's messes, there's incompletes, and there's things that need my attention, and. How, you said, how do we get started? How do we see this? And how do we know that these things are cropping up throughout the day? And then you said another good thing is, how is this taking me off course? What do you mean this affects me? I just ignore it and I move on. Mm-hmm. And that is not the case, because I know what it's like to live with that all around me and constantly keep pushing through. And I know what it's like to take action in different areas of my house, my life. And I know what it feels like to re-enter that space and not have a judgment of the space, not have the thought, what's wrong with me? Why can't I seem to keep this garage clean? I can never find the tool I want. How come people hide things on me? and I know they're not, but obviously it couldn't be me. And those things, when that environment, that space is redone, organized, the mess is completed. The mess, is cleaned up. The incompletion, maybe I started. I'm going to do this closet. And I got started and I thought, oh, this is bigger than I anticipated. I'm done. The door's closed and the problem's gone. It's back behind those doors. But those doors, just walking by them, somehow they speak to us. Something inside of us, something we're carrying. We did a video recently about you're carrying around. It's kind of like a hefty bag, a garbage bag full of heavy clothes or something. And each time we go through, we maybe add a little weight. And I'm telling you, I just by carrying that weight around, and the way to, if you want to lose weight, okay? Okay, now we're going to turn it into if you want to lose weight and feel a little lighter, do some of these things. Clean out that junk drawer. Junk drawers are great. And I think everyone should have one, not 8, but 1 or 2, whatever. But inside that junk drawer, they make these little, like, plastic inserts. So one could be pens, one could be elastic bands, one could be different tools. If you have little tools that you want to put in the kitchen, wherever your junk drawer is. It's like, we did all that. And I need organization. I'm, legally blind. I don't glance around a room and look for things. I go to where it is, where I last put it. And I don't need to look too much. I know to reach in and get it. I wear a headphone, an earphone, whatever, and for these videos. And I just leaned over, I opened a drawer and I reached in because I know in the front part of the drawer all the way to the right are where my headphones are. And sure enough, I pulled them out. And then I opened the thing and I know they're charged and I put it in. It's like, isn't that nice? But let me tell you, there was a time that the earphone hiding person showed up everywhere. And every time I went to get them, they were somewhere else. And I don't believe that person would do that to me. I'm visually impaired. Why would you play that game with me? And it was me. Every time I used them, I put them somewhere else. So that's a mess. And that's just a mess of not organizing. Do you have any experience with that type of stuff?
No, not at all. As a matter of fact, interestingly enough, as I was making an agreement with myself for the past several weeks that I was getting my office organized. I have so many projects happening with Thriving Blind Academy and other stuff that I actually don't have time anymore to be disorganized, because wasting time for me now it's actually impacting my bank account and my deliverables if I'm wasting time with messes and incompletes all over my office. But in my commitment to myself of getting organized, I organized myself so well with my headphones that I couldn't remember the wonderful place that I had put them. Turns out I put them in with my little projector, all of my my stuff for speaking, for being out back on the speaking circuit now that the world has reopened with events. And I put them there, and I remembered after 20 minutes of us talking and me going through my office trying to figure out where they were, wasting our time, wasting your time to do this successibility video. I remembered that that's where I put them to keep myself more organized for flying around the country and being on stages. So first of all, I realized that that's not exactly efficient to have just that one pair of headphones in the piece of equipment that in the bag that I use to travel. That all needs to stay in its own complete area for travel. And I need to have a second pair that sits here at my desk so that I can do what you did. Reach over in the drawer. It's time to record. Let's go. Let's not be frazzled. But there's a couple of things here. When I have these messes and incompletes, like the lights that I took out lights in my kitchen and haven't put the new ones in yet. Every time I go in the kitchen, I look at that, and it's like it starts to decrease my bandwidth for the day. My creativity goes down, my efficiency and productivity go down because I've got this thing on my mind. But I'll tell you, Charlie, and talk about the whole weight loss thing. And I'd be very curious from our viewers and listeners to comment on this below the video. Do you get the same reaction that I do when I actually do, like when I cleaned out my garage as we had the first nice spring day here and moved all the stuff that we had just been throwing in there all winter long that was starting to irritate me so much trying to get to the trash cans? When I cleaned that out and then opened the door and had a nice clear path, a huge path to the trash cans, I felt literally physically lighter, and that I had brain space to go back to the project that I was working on to be more efficient and productive with that. And when I had a friend come over to help me with the kitchen sink faucet that I had to change out that had been sitting there with all the tools sitting around because I couldn't figure out how to finish it. Once that was done and I'm able to just go in there and turn that faucet on without having to worry about, tweaking things and whatnot, I literally feel lighter. So there you go. For weight loss, just clean stuff up around the house. Mm-hmm. You'll feel lighter. You don't even have to get on the scale. But I guess there's a mental capacity to this, Charlie, about how much bandwidth it it subtracts from you to have all of these things cluttering your mind.
Yeah. Oh boy. What's interesting to me is I know everybody listening to this has once or in their lifetime have cleaned a closet. Has said, that's it. I am not doing this for another day. I am so tired of looking for that shirt, those pair of pants, that pair of shoes, whatever it might be, flicking through, going, where did I put it? How come? Oh my gosh, is it in the wash? That madness. And you then took the time. You cleaned it. That next morning when you went back in, and it's cleaned. A lot of clothes have been taken out and brought to Goodwill. It's organized. It's colors. You put the blunt colors together. You put the long sleeves together. At least that's all the things I did. All the short sleeves are together. The summer, so now it's organized, and I don't have to, or shall I say, I don't stand there and go, ugh, here I am again at my closet. I walk up to it and I go, I am so glad I did this. Now I'm not putting a curse on my day almost. It's like I'm not frustrated with myself. I'm not tolerating a messy closet. It's in line. It works. I effortlessly get my clothes out and it's like, gosh, that was amazing. Now here's the funny part. I know how well that works. I know how good I feel about it. And I know there's other areas of my house, but I still don't seem to want to get to those. It's like it has to get so bad. It gets to a point where that's it, And that's what we're trying to say is it doesn't need to get to that point. We all have basements or storage areas or closets or things with doors. They're the best place to hide things. And, and when you open those doors, if you can't be proud of that space, if you can't say to yourself, I love how this is organized. This is great. I love opening this door. I have nothing to hide. I'll invite people into my home and show them every closet, every little door I have, because in there is peace of mind. And way back, it came to, I was walking, there was a box in a room, and I walked by the box, and the box would say, hi, remember me? Somebody in this house needs to put that box away. And you get frustrated every time you look at me. And you remind yourself that people should do stuff around here. It's, it's always me. And then the day you walk through the room and that box is still there talking to you, I stopped and I said, bend down, pick up box, put somewhere and put it where it needs to go. And I did it. And I didn't go around telling the other people in my home, you should. I had to do for you. I did none of that. I just did it. And the next day when I went to the room, no box talking to me. Matter of fact, the only talk I had was, good job. Why'd you wait so long to do that? And it's okay. Then I go to the garage years ago. How can I create this space, make this environment navigatable? I don't know if that's a word, but, where I can use it as a legally blind guy to the best of my and its ability. How can I organize it? So when I open looking for a tool, it's that. And it took a while, Kristen. It wasn't like a Saturday. It took a couple weekends of really thinking, what's going to work best for me? Because it's where I go to do things, whether it's work outside the house, in the house, whatever. I need a tool. And it's even cool. It's like my daughter or my wife needs a tool. All right, it's the third drawer down on the left. I know where things are because I do not want to rely on my eyesight. I don't want to walk in and go and play the game of hunting, of looking, because it builds my frustration. I get mad at myself, because I know. Why do we get mad? Because we know it's possible to organize. We know we could put it back where it belongs. We know that. And we get mad at ourselves because we didn't follow through. We didn't do it. And you want to relieve that bondage? Take the time, because as Kristen said, we've created a template. And it gives some great triggers and how to walk through the home, walk with a pad, go through. Is there stains on the carpet? Is there doors that are squeaky or they don't close properly or they need the hinges tightened? Or is there a sliding door that the track needs to be cleaned and oiled so the door opens better? Obviously, I'm sharing all things from my house. And, are there things, are some windows, whatever things that you know that don't automatically repair themselves on their own, or they need to be put away, or those scissors that you need, that you go to that one drawer and they seem to not be there a lot. And it's like, but I thought and so we go around and we kind of collect all this data. And you could start in your home environment. You could work in your body environment. What am I tolerating? Or what irritates me about me? Is it I put on a couple of pounds? I'm not exercising, So we look at this and not to be overwhelmed, not to be like, oh my God, I am a mess. No, that isn't why we do this. We do this to chunk it down, to put the highest priority. We have a template. It says location, what you want to do in that location, which means a closet, whatever that might be, and when do you want to start it, when do you want to do it, to have it done by. And here's what else is really important. We do a principle, ask. Who can I ask for help? Do I need to ask for help? So is there somebody, hey, I was wondering on Saturday at 10 a.m., could you come over? Or if it's someone living in your house, could you give me a hand with organizing my closet? Or whatever, my garage or something like that. And there's another question. When you bump up against these things that you want to do, what is the benefit to you keeping it the way it is? I bet you're going to say there is no benefit to me. So then, what will it take? What needs to happen for me to organize a plan to start moving forward with this? And trust me, it works every time when I approach it that way. And just chunk it down, spread it out. I used to be the guy that got frustrated. And in that moment, that my whole day was ruined because now it had to be fixed. And then I would get more frustrated because it was way bigger than my little mind came up with in that moment. So...
Well, you have an important word there, Charlie, frustrated. You just said it twice, and I actually wrote it down on my notes here from when you said it a few minutes ago. And that, I think, is the key word that we need to land on for a hot second here, for folks to understand just how much this messes and incompletes thwarts our progress towards thriving and succeeding. Because when you have that constant frustration, it's one thing after the other. Like when my daughter and I we leave the kitchen incomplete. We don't get to all of the dishes and the glasses on the island because it's just the two of us and we're running in a bunch of directions, and we'd much rather sit and watch Pretty Little Liars together or spend time outside, and we let all of that go. It's frustrating to me to have it all over the place, right? And I'm trying to communicate with her about this, whether it's efficient or not. But then you have something like all of a sudden it's spring break from school and Mitchell comes home. And if you have glasses and stuff all over the kitchen island, even two of them on the kitchen island, or things not in their place, now Mitchell comes home and he's frustrated because he has knocked something over, or he can't find the tongs that he uses to cook the chicken that he cooks. Like, it is like I'm frustrated, then Chris is frustrated, then Mitchell's everybody ends up frustrated. And it really, there's this scientific piece of it, this low level chronic stress, that when you are constantly in this, it's like my friend Mary Fran and I talk about, it's like being pecked to death by chickens, one little thing at a time. It's like these little annoyances, these little frustrations, when they keep going and there's no relief, that then starts to shut down, like I said earlier, your productivity, your creativity, or your brain space to do the things that are part of the purpose in your life. These little things like having a cluttered kitchen island really do, or the garage, or not knowing where your stuff is. It adds to that chronic low level stress that then has you going backwards from, instead of moving forwards in thriving. And trust me, I realized now, give myself some grace here and realize from past mistakes. Wait a minute. I realized before Mitchell came home for Easter break, which was only 2 days, but I said to my daughter early the week before, I was like, listen, we have got to get into a better routine over the next 7 days before Mitch gets home to, there was a hamper that I have no idea why my teenager does not take the hamper up the steps when she goes past it. She can walk by that thing 157,000 times.
Mm-hmm.
But we had to have communication about that hamper at the bottom of the steps. Mitchell is not going to see it, and that's not fair. And then, he bangs into it, he's upset, everybody's frustrated. It's that impact, the ripple effect of some of this frustration that it can cause it through the entire family, when really we have to take responsibility for the incompletes and the messes that we're leaving out there, so that they're not impacting the rest of us and causing this stress that doesn't need to be there. And quite frankly, I'm actually starting to take this personally with myself. Like, I was joking with a friend of mine the other day and I said, springtime Kristen is really frustrated with end of fall Kristen that chose to not get rid of all of the piles of leaves on the front and side of the house, because I guess fall time Kristen was more into wrapping things up with the big tractor mower. I don't know. But now springtime Kristen has a huge cleanup that I would rather not be doing all those leaves when we're having this beautiful weather. I would rather be out for walks with friends and stuff like that. So I'm actually learning to have communication with myself and the future Kristen. What will she be expecting and enjoying or be frustrated with, and take steps today to not annoy her later. Growth.
This is an ongoing, this is a principle. This is, life is busy. Life is clutter. Life is a lot coming at us. We can get caught up and we get going and going and going and going, and we lose sight of certain things, and then we slow down. We watch a video like this. We go, thank you. Why do you think you and I, we teach success principles? Because we need them. Can you imagine? I know what my life was like before I started focusing on these types of principles. It was very cluttered. It was full of frustration. It was full of tolerating and irritations. If you and I need to tolerate something, it's okay. And for once or twice, while we think of a plan or a way to relieve the toleration. Tolerating something takes bandwidth, and we only have so much. And, you could go to the gym and run 5 miles, and you could, ride your bike halfway across the state and back. And that is physical energy. It can't even touch mental energy. You could not walk, ride a bike, work out, and be exhausted halfway through the day. Because what is going on? Your mind burns way more calories than physical energy. And if you want to be less tired, feel more energized, remove what these frustrations are. And they're never anyone else. The frustrations are me not taking responsibility for what's not working in my life. And what am I tolerating? I'm tolerating because I am not willing to ask for help or to sit down and say, hey, could we come up with a new way? This way doesn't work for me. And it could be that I just like things organized a certain way, or it could be because I'm legally blind and I need to navigate it differently to make it work better for me. And then the last one's what irritates me. I got to look at that, because when I'm irritated, when I'm tolerating, or I'm frustrated, I'm tired. And then I'm going to say things I probably wish I didn't. I'm going to start blaming. I'm going to complain. I'm going to make excuses. I'm going to fall into the guy I don't want to be. But he's always there saying, hi, I'm ready. Let's start throwing those, let's become that blame thrower. And no, that isn't what gives me peace of mind. So I believe, because I've experienced that by taking little actions towards what are you tolerating, that you could have a conversation, or you could work this out in your own mind even, and then you realize I don't need to tolerate this mess. This mess isn't my problem. It's me. So that stuff, you just hit it on the head. It's like, wow, that laundry bath. There is an absolute rule at my house. People like to put things on stairs. I mean,
know.
I don't want to. I don't want to walk down my stairs, have my left foot catch on something that a very stupid person who's in my family put there, and now I'm going to go teach a lesson. I'm going to pick that item up. I'm going to say, "What were you thinking?" I was thinking I want to put it there to remind myself to bring it upstairs. Well, I get that, actually. That makes sense, but not for me because I'm not looking at the stairs when I go down them. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm visually impaired. I don't know what I'm doing, but I guess maybe I need to look a little more. But you know what I mean? So you talk, and then they realize laundry baskets, items on the side of the stairs for your memory issues because you weren't willing to follow through. You had it in your hand. Oh, I got to bring this upstairs. Do it now. Just go do it. You need to get the steps anyway, in your app. So it's a win. These are things that we talk about. So, we're winding down with this because this is a never ending. This template that we're going to offer you, we're actually just going to put in the description because for me to put it on the screen after editing, that's going to create an irritation, and I don't want to do that. So, but listen, this will help you. It'll pop some ideas. This isn't. We don't want to bring out the hammers and say, "Oh gosh, it's ridiculous. I can't believe I let things go like this." Computers are a very good thing that happen to need maintenance. Cars need maintenance. Bicycles, shoes. You know what I mean? Maintenance is, if we don't maintain, then these things start to become incomplete. They become messes. They become irritations. And we start tolerating and we get frustrated. And then we start losing the bandwidth to move forward. We can't see the beauty of the forest through the trees. Then mind blindness kicks in. It's like I can't see the problem. And we're here to tell you that there is a better way. And so through our stories, our experiences, and what we've done, and what our community does to navigate and get through this, the discussions we need to have with family to make things work better around the house. You've told me about them, how the boys knock a glass, so I've done it. And I'm embarrassed at first. Then I'm mad at the idiot that put it there. And I don't want to think that way. I just, I don't like, oh yeah, that makes sense. All right, so I got to follow through instead of just leaving it. It's amazing. And I do things wrong. I put things where I shouldn't. I'm in the same world. I'm not white as snow, but if you agree on a system, an approach that works for everybody, and some are going to have to adjust a little, but the unit that we all live in, the environment, everyone seems to start thriving more when we do this.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. I like how you tied up all the things that we talked about today. And this it is doable. And this template that you'll download really makes it even more doable with step by step and how to take this in baby steps. Because some of you are probably feeling incredibly overwhelmed looking around your house and your desk and whatnot. But all you need to do is one area, one incomplete, one mess that you got going on. Let's attack that one thing. And you'll see that then as that frustration eases and you realize the feeling that comes from that, then it's, oh, let me do the next one and the next one. And then if you have people living in your home with you, they're going to be like, what is happening here? Closets are getting organized, spaces are organized, and you'll see the vibe change in the home as well, or with your coworkers, or roommates, whatever you got going on. So if you listen, if this has resonated with you, because I got to be honest, and I've said to Charlie on several occasions, this messes and incompletes, I really did not grasp just how important of a success principle this is until I started doing this and realizing just how much bandwidth it freed up. Frustration was gone. And I was like really hitting the accelerator in terms of being productive and creative. So if you are in that camp and didn't realize how important this principle is, let us know in the comments. And then let us know when you get that download and take those baby steps to cleaning up messes and incompletes. Come back and comment again and let us know how that's impacted your life. And we all have folks in our life and in our circles that come to us for advice and strategies to handle the stuff in their lives. If you've got people that this video could help, share it with them and let them know that it helped you too. And that gets the message around to more and more people to have more of us in the success and thriving camp.
And we'd like, please like this video and subscribe. We got to ask, because that helps. It helps the channel. It supports. It helps get this in front of more people that maybe need to clean a closet. You know what I mean? Or who are struggling with blindness, because we can put the problem on the eye disease that then when we freed from that, then we realized that really wasn't the problem. It was just the way I was approaching things. So this has been awesome. And I got to go because I got to go clean something right now.
Clean it up. We'll see y'all next time.
Bye-bye.
Don't forget to head down to the comments and click on the link that'll download your template.